Hi, my name is BREGJE and you are watching Estona tutorials. And I am so happy that you are tuning in again today, and this video is sponsored by our friends at Gaswine. And Gaswine is a company that provides jewelry tools, and they provide them worldwide, but they are based in America. So Gaswine, thank you so much for supporting the metalsmithing community so I can make a video like this one. For today's tutorial we are going to make a ring out of wax. And as you can see, there are different types of waxes and each wax has its own qualities. And today I am going to use the green wax by Met and Ferris waxes. And we are going to use this one because it's a harder wax, and I am going to make a ring that is quite thin, so this will stay in shape while I'm working on it. You will need your vernier calipers and dividers for measuring and scribing, a wax reamer and a coarse file to take away material, your jeweler's saw with a spiral cutting blade, some additional tools for shaping. I have this great set by Kate Wolf tools, but they are quite the investment, so if you're just starting out, regular wax carving tools will do as well. I have some wax clean here to smooth out the surface once we are done with shaping the ring. And again, the wax itself, in my case, the Met and Ferris green carving wax. Before you can start out, make sure that your wax is at a right angled corner. This one is because it's a new wax, so I don't have to alter it. Otherwise, keep filing until you have a straight view from all sides. I want my ring to be 4.5 millimeters wide. As you can see, I set my calipers to a width of 5 millimeters, and that will give me a bit more room to nicely round off the ring while making it. And it's quite easy to take off a couple of millimeters on each side when I'm done. So I set my dividers to 5 millimeters, and there is an easy way to check and see if you have set this to the right dimensions. And that is by simply making a mark on your bench or on a piece of paper and measure it with your vernier calipers. And now I'll hold one end of my dividers on the outside of this ring blank. And I am going to trace a line around the ring like this. And now I am going to use my spiral blade to cut on the outside of this line. And if you are a bit nervous about this, rest your blade against your bench pin. And as you can see, I am not cutting all the way through at once. I am going at it a bit by bit. Check your measurements all over the ring. And if you are way off, don't despair, just use this as a moment to learn and try again. And I am very happy that I did go with the 5 millimeters, because at some points I am already down to 4.5. But I am quite even all over the ring, so I am not going to adjust it now. If you are further off, use your file to adjust. Use some sanding paper, and again start over if you really aren't happy with the result. I am going to make sure that the inside of my ring is up to size first, and I am going to use this wax reamer to do so. As you can see, this is shaped like the half of a tribulate with a small blade inside. And you can use this blade to take away small amount of wax at a time. I am always struggling a bit with a wax reamer, and I find that it helps me to really hold the ring to create equal pressure on all sides. And then gently twisting it backwards. Make sure to measure in between, and for this ring I am going to go for an inner diameter of 19 millimeters. And maybe this is a technique that can help you out as well, placing one side down on your bench, holding it with these fingers, and again taking off one tiny bit at a time. This is now almost up to size, and I am going to use a small scalpel or one of my tools to smooth out the inside. And instead of sticking this blade in here like this and going straight in there, that will give me a lot of resistance. You can hear it. I am going to flatten down my blade, and this will still take away material. But it will not create new marks in my wax. And all I'm doing here is removing the tool marks from the reamer. And I'm heading over to the finer tools to really clean this up. And it takes a bit of testing which tools to use for which job. So just experiment. And now I am going to use this wax clean to clean up the inside of my ring, and this will remove all scratches and it will leave a clean and smooth surface. All you need to do is dip a cotton swab in it, gently rub over your wax, and leave it to dry. And I hope you can see that this really is working quite nicely. Of course, I am going to use it on the outside of the ring as well. So let's continue with the rest of the ring. I set my dividers to 1 millimeter, and I am going to go around the ring like this. And if you are having a hard time seeing your scribe lines, then pick up some of the wax and just rub it in there. And now you can take your blade and cut something away. You can take a knife, chip off some pieces, but I am going to use this coarse file because I prefer to take away material this way. And remember, only file forward, otherwise you will just clog your file. And I am going to file up to that line by holding my file like this, so a bit tilted, and that way the inside of my ring, or this inner part, will have a domed shape. And if you need a bit more support for your wax pieces, you can place it down on your bench pin as well. Again, tilt your file and simply go round like this. And if at some point during your work your file does get clogged up, take a copper brush and clean it up. And when you are taking away more material, you can weaken it a bit, and as you can see, I am left with a small crack here, so we are going to fill this up. So I didn't mention this one in the introduction, but this is an alcohol or spirit lamp. And I didn't mention it because I wasn't planning on using it. But as you know by now, it wouldn't be an Estona tutorial if I didn't show you my mistakes in here. So I'm going to heat up this tool with the alcohol lamp. And then I can use it to pick up some wax. And if I enter it in the flame again, the wax will become liquid. And this is what I can use to fix my mistake. And once this has completely dried, you can carefully take off the excess wax. And after a fair amount of filing and measuring, this is the coarse version of the ring. I am going to run around this one last time with a file, but now it is more fragile, so when you apply pressure on one side, counter apply pressure from the other side, because you don't want your ring to break at this point. I can see that this is nice and even from both sides, and it has that domed shape I was looking for. All I need to do is fine-tune this. And this is the point where you don't want to apply any pressure. Just run over there smoothly. Let's see if we can get the wax clean to do the rest. I did place my ring on this iron rod, so that I don't have to be afraid that I will break my ring or something. And this is how you can make a basic ring in wax. And I am going to ship this one to my caster. And he is going to cast this one in white gold by using the lost wax casting method. And you might have noticed that I am into wax working at the moment, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Gaswine, thanks again for supporting my channel and the Metalsmith community out there. You are the best. And in case you are inspired by this video and you want to give Gaswine a try, then please look up the discount code in the description below this video, and that will give you a 5% discount on all tools at Gaswine. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you again shortly.